Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, issue number 15. This is a patron exclusive comic book. Maybe everybody else will be able to see this like a month later, but for now, Patreon exclusive. Thank you guys. Love yous. Anyway, let's get talking about who made this comic book. Talk a bit about the comic book itself. We've got Saladin Ahmed on writing and Javier Garren on art. Colors, David Curiel. Letters, VC's Corey Petit. Javier Garren and David Curiel doing the cover, and Nick Bradshaw with Eric Arcianega doing the Spider-Gwen variant, this Gwen Stacy, yeah, that one. Okay, so the vice principal, of course, has Miles's journal, and he's like, I got you now, Peter Parker, what you gonna do, fool? And he's like, oh no, I has been discovered. It's like, it's a fun little thing where it's like, all of a sudden, Green Goblin, the ultimate goblin, shows up and he's like, where's Spider-Man? He's got a bunch of little goblinoid things around. Like, what is this? He's like, give me Spider-Man or I'm going to start kicking some butt. You see that old man over there? That janitor? I'm going to pop his head like a melon. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? Way too much energy on this. Anyway, it doesn't really serve any purpose because it takes forever for Spider-Man to finally show up. What do you call it? The vice principal actually decides to sacrifice himself. No, not his life. That would have made life easier, wouldn't it? Anyway, he decides to sacrifice his bodily well-being and gets himself, knocked the hell out by challenging the Green Goblin, the Ultimate Goblin. I'm Spider-Man. Man, I'm a whoop. Get out of here. Anyhow, so he turns into Spider-Man. He gets hit a little bit. He beats the crap out of Goblin. Goblin winds up running/flying away. And Spider-Man's like, I'm going to get you. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm a little bit dizzy. Oh, I'm faint. Like, what is this? Now, at the end, of course, you can expect what happens here because he goes up and, he's like, Mr. Vice Principal, listen, I'm really sorry for what you might think is happening here. It's like, well, looking at this journal that explains that you're Spider-Man, I had to kind of look at it as, it's a very weird fictional journal. He's like, what do you mean? Yes. Thank you. Okay, translation. He's going to hold his secret. I got to admit, even though I tried not to, I got, the heart swell when I was reading this. I'm like, oh, what a good guy. We always want to see somebody who's a jerk turn into a good person. And just the slightest bit of good. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big deal. I don't know. When I look at this, though, it's like aside from that moment that, I just don't see anything else in this comic book, man. Everything else seemed really basic. I mean, when push comes to shove, let's be realistic. Saladin Ahmed, this is a guy who's done some amazing work before. I mean, his seminal piece is the Inhumans' Black Bolt story. I mean, this dude made a singular story. How many issues long? 12 issues long, something like that? About a character who can't speak, because if he does, he blows things up. And then made him speak. he made Crusher Creel, the Absorbing Man, into a totally awesome guy. And of course brought Lockjaw in, which is like, dude, that was very fun. This dude has the ability to tell a great superhero story. There are great superhero moments that he's able to pull in this comic book. But as far as the actual teenager stories, the Miles Morales himself story, the family story, the school story, everything that's going around here besides, I'm going to be a hero because I'm Hero Man, I felt like it was sorely lacking. That's kind of a shame. I know that Saladin Ahmed can do better. Maybe he's writing too many books right now. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I feel like he should be able to nail this comic book. And he had for so long until that issue where it's like, okay, now we got to run a gauntlet. Next issue. Okay, we ran the gauntlet. We still got time to spare. Want to play Parcheesi? Wait, what? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wanted to like this so much. I had a feeling I wouldn't. And unfortunately, that was mostly confirmed. It's not a bad book. But it's Saladin Ahmed. I've just come to expect so much more from this guy. I'm really hoping he gets this book back on track before I decide to find another track. Anyway, guys, that's your Patreon exclusive. Unless it's a month later and the rest of you guys see it. thank you also. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.